But we begin today with tonight's Game 3 of the NBA Finals. The series has moved to Indiana. The first two games of the series were dominated through three quarters by Oklahoma City. In Game 1, Indiana bounced back and won on a dramatic shot by Tyrese Halliburton. In Game 2, Oklahoma City did not take its foot off the gas. Wilbon, do you expect the Pacers to win Game 3 at home?
Yeah, Tony, I think I do. And people have to understand, and they don't, because they are now tied a couple of generations worth to meaningless numbers, and they don't look at the ebb and flow of athletic competition. And it goes back and forth. And sometimes there are wild swings back and forth. You can go back to Wilt and Russell, and even their series didn't always swing wildly because Russell won them. But then Bird and Magic, and there were series where Michael Jordan would win the series, but the up 3-0 against Seattle, they would give up 2. And you have this all the time in a series of games in all the sports. And basketball is even more notable, I think, and it's easy to achieve because so few people control the action, Mr. Halliburton. I believe he will bounce back. I believe his coach, Rick Carlisle, who has been like a wizard, will help him bounce back. I believe human nature will lead Oklahoma City to, in some ways, say, we got this tonight, except you don't exactly have it just yet. And I think all of that will wind up with some close and probably crazy dramatic Pacer victory at home. I think that, that's what I think.
We disagree. I do not think Indiana will win tonight. And I somehow find myself believing that Game 3 is going to be a critical game in this series. I've watched Oklahoma City basically dismantle Indiana through 36 minutes of Game 1 and through 36 minutes of Game 2. And I give Indiana all the credit in the world for winning Game 1. But, Mike, what I've seen indicates to me that Oklahoma City has figured out Indiana more than Indiana has figured out Oklahoma City. And I could be wrong about this. I could be. But I think that Indiana derives everything and starts with Halliburton all the time. Yep. And he was held to 13 shots in Game 2. And Pascal Siakam was held to 11 shots in Game 2 by the best defense in the league. They have to shoot more. They have to score more. Going into this series, they had averaged 29 shots between them. I don't think that's a meaningless statistic, nor do I think this one is. Halliburton had this fantastic ratio of 9-to-1 assists to turnovers in the playoffs until Oklahoma City. Now in these two games, he's got 12 assists and 8 turnovers. That's 1.5-to-1. So again, I hope I'm wrong, but I think Oklahoma City has figured them out. I do.
Tony, I don't disagree with you in the main. I'm not picking the Pacers to win the series. I still have OKC winning the series. But tonight, and by the way, I know that Halliburton reportedly has some lower leg injury. I don't want to hear that. Yeah. On the anniversary of the flu game, I don't want to hear about a lower. Everybody's got something this time of year. I expect Halliburton will be great, whether they win or not. I think he will bounce back. Tom Thibodeau is starting to look like a difficult man to replace. Mark Stein and Shams, among others, are reporting that the Mavericks have turned down the Knicks' request to talk to Jason Kidd. And Shams reports that the Rockets have done the same with Ime Udoka and the T-Wolves with Chris Finch. So what word would you use to describe the Knicks' search for a new head coach?
I would use the word arrogant. How dare the Knicks be arrogant enough to just think they can swoop in and get a coach who is, employed somewhere else? What do Udoka and Kidd and Finch have in common? They're employed by other teams, playoff teams. They're paid by other owners. So the Knicks feel what? Like we're New York and we're big and we're great, and so you're going to want to work for us, and why do we have to pay attention to rules? I don't think it works that way. This is sort of unbelievable to me, Mike, and as you know, I grew up a Knicks fan. But this is a team that won a championship for the last time 62 years ago. And they think that their name is such a big deal that everyone wants to coach there. Well, not everyone. Jay Wright didn't want to coach there. Mike, I think if they get one of these three guys and one of these three guys wants them, they're going to have to do it by trade. And this, they're not going to swoop in like a pack of birds. And this leads me to the thing I've said for the last 2 days about this story. okay? Why would you want to go work for Dolan? Why? He just fired a guy who took his team to the conference finals for the first time in like over 20 years. And why would you work for a guy like Leon Rose who just let his former client go down the drain?
By the way, I love it that you made it 62 years, but it's been 52. I'm sure your friend Clyde Frazier, who often watches us, is saying, Tony, you were there. Don't make it 62. 52 is long enough.
It feels like 62.
I
feel it's like 62. I wish.
I'm not going to disagree with you on any of that. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to applaud you because your depiction of New York arrogance, I know it's confined to this one thing. That's the way most of us feel about New Yorkers all the damn time. They're so arrogant, they look at the world and say, well, yeah, you just want to be here. Yeah, that's what I think of you people all of my life, and it is more than 60 years. But I was so well done by you. I'd hug you if I was there. I got nothing to add to that because I think you slayed that just now. You killed it. Golf clap for the U.S. Open. Tone, you're right.
Thank you.
And they got to go to Plan B. You know they had a Plan B.
They do.
You know they got some Plan B. They do.
Of course.
Wanna try to boast at what I look like. Think I'm gonna try to wear I pull up long range. Jimmy with the heat, I'm on fire. It's NBA, I'm here,